The following is a paid program. Talk 103.7 WTIP and Cable Channel 7 welcome you into Financially Speaking with Jim Taunton. Find us live on radio, TV, the IBX Media app, and on YouTube. Just search Financially Speaking NC or get the link at WTIPFM.com. The opinions expressed in this show are for general informational purposes only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine what investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities and investment advisory services are offered through Genoa Wealth Management Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Now, here's your host for Financially Speaking, certified financial advisor, Jim Taunton.
Yes, it's Jim Taunton at 6 o'clock. This is an historic occasion for Financially Speaking. I have never hosted this program. Well, I can't say that either. We've had to move it on occasion, but this is the first 6 o'clock program after moving to 6 o'clock permanently. There you go. So we're at a new time slot, and I hope it suits most people. Hank seems to think so. Probably get a little better drive time at 6 rather than 6:30. Most people are already home by 6:30. And the other thing is, I really know why he wanted me to move now. I had not been aware that I am immediately following Patrick Johnson, the legend, Patrick Johnson. I figure if I just hang on to half of his 1 million viewers, I'll have a great audience. So thank you, Patrick, for allowing me to nibble on some of the crumbs from your fame. Appreciate it very much. All right, we're going to go to a break in a minute, but let me remind you, this is a listener participation program, which means we'd love to have a call from you. Anything financially related, just give me a call with a question or comment. And if you do that, your name goes into the drawing for the dinner for two at Tavola. I'll even pay the tip. And the number to call is 252-561-TALK, 561-8255, 561-8255. And call during this break, and we'll take your call first when we come back, and I would love to talk to you, so please do that. So I'll be back in about 2 minutes.
Aiden Golf and Country Club invites you to become a member. Come tour our beautiful clubhouse, ballroom, and facilities. For a quality golf experience, sign up for our discounted special membership rates. Low monthly dues with no quarterly food minimum or assessments. Folks love to play golf at Aiden Golf and Country Club. Cool off at the pool all summer. Enjoy excellent food and beverages from the snack bar. Even store your own cart, unless you like to walk. Call 746-3389 for special limited membership rates at the Aiden Golf and Country Club.
My practice has been built on accessibility, responsiveness, and a willingness to be proactive for my clients. I'm not afraid to make recommendations relating to your investments and planning. I do hope all of your financial decisions are good ones, but let's not rely on hope. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Jim has attained 3 professional designations: Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Life Underwriter, and Chartered Financial Consultant, which entails 20 courses of study with examinations and a comprehensive national board exam, administered by the Certified Financial Planning Board. Jim has been practicing in financial services since 1979, which includes investing, planning, and insurance to help you meet your financial goals. Among the many awards Jim has received in his career is his selection to the Guide of the Top Financial Planners by the Consumer Research Council of America. So if you want to work with someone who is working for you, call Jim at 756-4700 or email him at planning@financiallyspeaking.com. That's 756-4700 and planning@financiallyspeaking.com.
Welcome back to Financially Speaking, and this is Jim Taunton, your host for the next 25 minutes or so. And I'm sitting in my office at home doing this program. I hook up to the station over the internet, and it's pitch dark out there. At 5:30 it felt like 8:30. I just don't like it, but I don't like getting up when it's dark either. And the idea of kids at bus stops in the pitch dark waiting for buses, we can't have that. Just can't have it. So I think we need to keep switching back and forth between daylight and standard time, in my opinion. I'm sure many people have differing opinions on that, but in any case, I wasn't even looking at the phone. Let me look and make sure. No, nothing from the producer. So we didn't get a phone call. That is disappointing. Please interrupt the monologue at any time. If you call with a question, anything financially related, your name goes into the drawing for the Denver-Fortuna Tavola. And I'll even pay the tip. A great place to eat there at least once a week, if not twice. But there you have that. And again, the radio program is actually simulcast now on YouTube Live on the Financially Speaking NC YouTube channel. And I would love for you to go there. Just go to YouTube in the search bar. Either put the @ symbol Financially Speaking NC or Financially Speaking NC, probably will find it as well. And go to the YouTube channel and subscribe so you'll get notifications each week. I actually have 40 whole subscribers now, I believe it is. Let's see. I'm going to take a look. I am going to take a look. Am I? Let's see. Let's see if I'm going to take a look. Nah, I don't want to mess that up. Never mind. I'll look later. I think it's about 40 subscribers. Mostly friends, relatives, and what have you. A lot of what have you. All right. I am in the middle, as my practice always is at this time of year, of getting required minimum distributions done. Now, most of my clients are on automatic pilot when it comes to that. We set it up so that every year, November or December, the required minimum distributions are distributed. Now, what I have to do is make sure there's enough cash. If it's a brokerage account, if it's direct funds, it's no problem at all. They just redeem enough and send it out. If it's a brokerage account, I have to make sure there's enough cash in the brokerage account for the RMD, required minimum distribution, something the government requires. And so I'm going through each account and make sure there's enough money to cover those. And if it's not, I'll go in and, with the client's permission, I have to sell off a piece of a position that's owned in the brokerage account. But these have to be done. The penalty on not doing a required minimum distribution is 50% on the amount that was not sent out. So, for example, if you had an RMD in a year of $5,000, and it wouldn't take a large account for that. Required minimum distributions change every year, and they're calculated based on the December 31st value previous year divided by the life expectancy you've attained to that year. And so because both of those change every year, your RMD changes. The RMD should go up every year with age. But let's assume you had a $5,000 RMD for this year. If you had only withdrawn, let's say, $4,000 during the year, and you were audited, now that's the key. The catching comes before the hanging, okay? So unless you're audited, it's not going to be an issue. But if you are audited and they discover that, then you would pay $500 penalty on that $1,000 that was not sent out. So it's significant. And so we try to get those RMDs done. But I talked a little about this either last week or the week before. But there is something that you can do relating to your required minimum distributions that is a significant tax advantage. And I know we all are trying to find tax advantages this time of year. And they are called qualified charitable distributions. If you have required minimum distributions and you actually don't need the withdrawal, you're not going to do anything with it, you have plenty of money in or income to provide for your expenses, your living expenses, you can actually have a check made out to a charity of some sort, as long as it's a non-taxable or tax-exempt entity. 403, I don't know, I forget what it is, what section of the code. Anyway, church or charity of your choice, the check or a portion of the RMD can be made out to that charitable entity. They can mail the check to you, then you can take it and give it to the charitable entity for their use, and you don't pay tax on that distribution. That's a pretty neat deal right there. So a lot of you need to consider doing that. You may even consider paying a portion of your tithe to your church with your RMD, because a lot of people now are not able to deduct their charitable contributions because they don't meet the guidelines anymore, because the standard deduction is so high. So it's a bummer not to be able to deduct what you're giving to your church anymore in that situation. But because of the qualified charitable distributions that you can make from your IRAs, you can deduct the contribution to your church now. You just have to do it a different way. Just an extra step or two. I would suggest that you contact your financial advisor, investment advisor, and talk it over with him or her and see if this is something that you would like to do. And I would tell you that if your advisor has not brought this idea to the table, then I would love to talk with you. And talking, it costs nothing. There's no obligation. First meeting with me is never any cost or obligation to it. So contact me and let's get together and just talk about it and see what it might do for you. And my number at the office is 756-4700, 756-4700. And my email is jim@jtauntonfinancial.com. And my last name is Taunton. So jim@jtauntonfinancial.com. My website is jtauntonfinancial.com. So I'd love to talk with you. I like to be proactive. I really love to give clients ideas without them having to ask. And that is why I'm with the CPA that I'm with now. I had a CPA at one time. He had done my taxes for, 20 years, and really had never been proactive in bringing me any kind of ideas. And by the time I got the information together for my taxes and brought it to him, I had it on an Excel spreadsheet. It was almost a fill-in-the-blank deal. And I think that's kind of what they wanted to do. But due to some circumstances, which I won't get into, I was able to discover that another CPA was a little more proactive. So I moved everything to him, and within just a couple of weeks, he had me change my structure of my business to an LLC with a sub-S election. And that move has saved me thousands of dollars in taxes every year. So, if you don't have a CPA that's proactive, I know one that is. But certainly if you have a financial planner or investment advisor that is not proactive, that has never brought you an idea, You got your money, invest it, and that was it. You need to give me a call. Let me talk with you. I'd be glad to. All right. Like I thought, we're midway through the program, so that's a good time to take a 2-minute break, and we'll do that. And call me during this break, and I'll take your call first. When we come back, anything financially related, question, comment, your name goes into the drawing for the dinner for two at Tavola. I pay the tip. So give me a call. The number is always area 252, of course, 561-TALK, 561-8255. And I'll talk with you again in a couple of minutes.
Invite you to become a member. Come tour our beautiful clubhouse, ballroom, and facilities. For a quality golf experience, sign up for our discounted special membership rates. Low monthly dues with no quarterly food minimum or assessments. Folks love to play golf at Ayden Golf and Country Club. Cool off at the pool all summer. Enjoy excellent food and beverages from the snack bar. Even store your own cart, unless you like to walk. Call 746-3389 for special limited membership rates at the Ayden Golf and Country Club.
My practice has been built on accessibility, responsiveness, and a willingness to be proactive for my clients. I'm not afraid to make recommendations relating to your investments and planning. I do hope all of your financial decisions are good ones, but let's not rely on hope. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Jim has attained 3 professional designations: Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Life Underwriter, and Chartered Financial Consultant, which entails 20 courses of study with examinations and a comprehensive national board exam, administered by the Certified Financial Planning Board. Jim has been practicing in financial services since 1979, which includes investing, planning, and insurance to help you meet your financial goals. Among the many awards Jim has received in his career is his selection to the Guide of the Top Financial Planners by the Consumer Research Council of America. So if you want to work with someone who is working for you, call Jim at 756-4700 or email him at planning@financiallyspeaking.com. That's 756-4700 and planning@financiallyspeaking.com.
Welcome back to Financially Speaking. My understanding is we have a caller, and unfortunately, the producer did not get your name when you called in. So when you pick up, if you could give me your name, I'd greatly appreciate it. You're on the air. Go right ahead with your question.
Are you there?
I am.
Okay, sorry about that. So my name is David. I have a question for you. What life event is it that triggers an RMD? So if I have a retirement account or a 401k or an IRA, what is it that happens? Is it an age that triggers that? Is it that I retire from work that triggers that? How does that process?
Yeah, you were right the first time. It is an age event. It used to be 70 and a half. Then it went to 72, and now it's 73. So the year that you turn 73, they will do the calculation, and you have to take the RMD, the first RMD out that year or by April 1st of the following year. But if you wait until like January of the following year, then you'll have to take 2 RMDs that year. That one for the previous year and then another one.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
It does. I was, more wondering. I guess if it mattered if I were taking Social Security or if I was not, but I see.
Not at all. And the reason that's in the tax code is the government wants to tax your money. They don't want your money to sit there with no tax having ever been paid on the contributions or growth, and then you die, and then somebody else gets it, and then they can stretch out the taxation. So that's the sole purpose, is so they can start getting some tax revenue on that tax-sheltered money.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
And if you have time, I have a second question.
Oh, certainly. Go right ahead.
So, just about like clockwork for about the past 5 or 6 years when we do our taxes, my wife and I, we end up paying somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,500 to $6,000 in additional taxes that were not withheld during the year from our paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything that I can do to prevent that? Besides, I think our withholding is adjusted okay.
So what is it? What do you think is causing you to pay that additional tax if you think the withholding is adequate?
I don't understand enough about the process, and I should. So just to, for round numbers, at the end of last year, we filed our taxes, and our federal taxes, we paid $37,000 together in federal taxes. And, we did our taxes, and the IRS said, well, we need $5,200 more. Because, and I feel like, when we fill out our W-4, the information on it is correct. There's a little, numbers that you put in for different dependents, and so all of that is according to the form is correct. But
are both you and your wife W-2 employees of the company?
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
And you don't have an income from rental property or any other source?
We do have an income from one. We still own one rental. We had more than that at one time, but we're down to one.
Okay. All right. There's only two things that you can do. Well, three. I have no idea who your accountant is. Is he a CPA or are you doing your own?
We have a CPA that does it.
Okay. And I assume he's knowledgeable and knows what he's doing. So I would assume he's taking all the deductions and filling out the tax return like it should be. So option one, I would say throw that out the window, which is to get a different accountant. Secondly, you can increase your withholdings by reducing your exemptions with your human resources person.
Right.
Secondly, since you do have rental income, you may need to set up a quarterly estimate and pay some additional tax on a quarterly estimate in addition to what's being withheld from your pay. I pay quarterly estimates as well.
Right, and I guess it's not so much that we have. I'm more looking for a way to do something.
Reduce taxes.
So that we don't reduce taxes, exactly. When we paid that $37,000 last year, and they said they needed $5,200 more, that sort of bites me in the butt.
Yeah, you want to avoid taxes, but not evade them. And
right.
I said last week I said the difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion was about 20 years in the penitentiary.
Exactly.
So you want to legally avoid taxes. And obviously I know nothing about your situation, so I can't possibly make any kind of recommendation to you. And I will tell you, I'm not a tax advisor per se. I'm not an accountant, not a CPA, but I obviously have a working knowledge of income taxes because I'm a financial planner, certified financial planner. So, I'd be more than happy to sit down with you and just ask some questions about your situation and see if anything is evident in your situation that can change that would reduce your taxes, but certainly couldn't make any promises in that regard.
Right. Okay. Well, let me do this. I have your contact information from listening to the show.
Okay.
We're actually, Lee, I'm leaving work in a few minutes, and we're headed out for about 2 weeks to the mountains.
Well, that's nice.
It is. We're taking the grandkids to the mountains, and we're going to have a big time. No matter what the IRS is going to do to us. So. Nothing
better than grandchildren. They are our reward for not killing our children.
Better believe that. But
where do you live?
We live in Kinston.
In Kinston. All right, do me a favor, David. Before you hang up, I'm going to move on and start monologuing again. But before you hang up, make sure that you give your phone number to the producer.
Okay.
He was tied up with something when you called. That's why I forgot to get your name and the phone number. And the reason is your name will go into the drawing for that dinner for two at Tavola. But if we don't have your phone number, we can't contact you if you win it. So
Yes,
just
sir.
give him your cell number before you hang up.
I will. Thank you.
We
for
don't
your
want to
time.
do it on the air because then you'd get calls from everybody.
I got you.
Anything
Got
else,
you. Very
David?
good. No, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you for calling. I appreciate it very much, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye. All right, good call. Let's see here. Wow, we have about 4 or 5 minutes at most. And we talked about the RMDs. Let me share this with you. I was listening to one of the proverbial experts. He's actually a professor at the Wharton Business School. He's on CNBC all the time, multiple times a week. So they must think a lot of him. Siegel, Jeremy Siegel is his name. And he said today, and he said it with an unequivocal tone in his voice, okay? He seems very sure of this, that inflation is gone. Where it will not rear its ugly head. It's going down and will continue to go down. The Fed will not have to raise rates. And he also believes that we will have the so-called soft landing, which means inflation reduction without recession. We are in the midst of a slowdown, which is what happens when the Fed raises rates by 5% in a very short period of time. I'm still a little bit concerned about the smaller banks that are got to be hemorrhaging a little bit because of the higher rates they're having to pay on CDs and savings accounts and whatnot. And yet they're locked into longer term loans, mortgages and whatnot that are much lower rate than they're having to pay currently on accounts. That's what caused problems with some of these banks you heard in the news months ago. So I just want to hear someone tell me that has been or is being rectified by the banks some way. But other than that, I just feel like we've already entered into a new raging bull market. You see this poster over my left shoulder here. That bull is running, and I think it's going to continue to run for the remainder of the year, barring something that's unforeseen, we can't predict, don't know about. If 3 or 4 more countries get involved with this Middle East conflict, who knows? Russia drops a nuke on Ukraine, just all kinds of mess can happen. You just don't know what these lunatics will do. But you see my Israeli flag over my other shoulder. I support Israel. No bones about it. They're the country in the Middle East that's like as much like the United States as it can be and be in the Middle East. So we need to support them. They value life. The other side does not value life. And that's just it. So, pray for Israel. Pray for the Jews. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I'm on. There it is. That first note of music hit my ear the very second I was about to say it. So I'm done with another program. So I'm going to be on at 6 o'clock every Thursday now. 6 o'clock. Tune me in and get on the YouTube channel, Financially Speaking NC. Subscribe. You'll get notifications. And as always, this is Jim Taunton helping you make all of your financial decisions good ones. Good night, everybody.